Hello everyone, CW here. Got another video for you. This one's by request. We're going to do some 357 shot loads, and I'm going to do two different styles. One of them I've done years and years ago, but I haven't done it in a while. But we're going to attempt it here today, just to show you there is an option on these. Now I did load up and shoot a couple of these. I tried them with number 8 shot, and I tried them with number 12 shot. And I'll roll in a couple of pictures. And surprisingly, this 357 is producing much tighter groups. The barrel is about a quarter, 3/8 of an inch longer. It's a 4 5/8 barrel. So maybe it's a half, 3/4 longer if that's 3 3/4 on that 32. But anyway, it's almost the same length barrel, but the patterns are much tighter. We're looking at, I think we had 7 inches before. We're looking at about 4 inches for the number 8 and about 5 inches for the number 12. And again, both nice patterns. I did it this time against a magazine, and it penetrated about 75 pages, the number 12 shot. So that's a hard magazine against a bank. So I'd be really surprised. Somebody made mention it won't shoot through a Diamondback. I'd be surprised if that Diamondback was tougher than that's got to be a good, just almost 1/8 of an inch of paper, stacked smooth, stacked smooth shiny paper in a magazine. So I don't think there's any problem with killing a Diamondback or any snake. They're not armor plated. That number 12 is going to shred his head. Again, no idea the velocity. There's no real recoil. They do pop a little bit. They're a little louder than I thought they were, but I think they're plenty powerful. But somebody else wants to try these and see what they get. More than welcome to do so. I'd love to hear what you get. I'd love to hear what you end up with. But this is virtually identical to the 32 for the first one. I did do a couple the old school way, which was to use gas checks. I didn't use the gas checks with the 32 because I didn't have any. I could have used the 30s, but they were a little bit loose, so I didn't use them at all. But the 35s and the 45s are the way I do my shot loads with those. And the only problem is these are Winchester cases that I've got here, and fired a dozen times or so. This one actually was a nickel one that's all worn off. Anyway, when you push that gas check down on top of the powder, the case tapers on the inside, and it's really hard to get a good compression. And you need to mark your whatever you're using. This is a Turkey Striker. It just happened to be a perfect shape and diameter to get inside to give me some leverage to push, and not mark up and destroy the integrity of the gas check. Anyway, it was really hard to push down. Again, you don't need to pack this, so you want to be careful not to overpack it. So I didn't know exactly how far I was seating it in there. So what I did was I pushed it down in, and then I marked the pusher to see. And even this pusher, this is not the exact diameter, but it's pretty close, and it only goes that far, and there's not a whole lot more powder than that. There really isn't a whole lot more powder than that in there. Maybe there's that much powder in there. We're looking at the same charge, 3.5 grains of bullseye. So if you can't get that down all the way on top of the powder, it's not a performance thing. I don't believe it's going to make a difference. It's not a pressure thing. I don't believe it's going to make any serious difference. But what it is it's taking away shot capacity. So you could get more shot in there, and you literally can't get too much in here to cause a problem. So there's really no reason to weigh it per se. You can just put your powder in there, put your over powder card in there, and what I would do is I would get a tool like this and get it down the first time and make sure you got it where you want it. Make sure it's down, touching the powder, compressing but not hard, and then mark the rod. Mark your pusher so that you can know every time that you're pushing it down far enough. Because if you were to push it less, okay, let's say you're down that far all the time, and for whatever reason, the next time it goes down only that far, what's going to happen is your shot's going to overflow, or you're not going to realize you're going to put less. You're going to dump it off because you're not measuring your shot, and then you're going to see the ball, and it's not going to be dangerous or nothing like that. But you're going to have less shot. You're going to have a less dense pattern, and it's not going to work as well. So let's go with that and not use the gas checks over top of the powder. So we'll just set those aside. This is a different setup I've got over here. These are old school dies. Many of you may not even know that there was a different way to set up dies back in the day, and that was to resize only, not deprime. Resize only with your first. You come to your second, there it deprimes and flares. Okay, so first one only resizes. Second one flares just like normal, but it also decaps. So it doesn't decap in the first one, decaps in the second one. And the third one is a cedar crimper, like we're used to. So it's just a little bit different. So we're going to start with resizing. We're just going to resize our case and get a primer. And again, these are going to be Magnum primers. You probably don't need them here. This is not as big a deal. I wouldn't be overly worried about a Magnum versus a regular primer here. Use what you got. Small rifle would probably work just as well. All right, so there we are. We're new primed, resized. Let's throw some powder in here. I previously set this up to drop powder that we want. These cards are made the same way as the last one. I just took a 358 Winchester case. 35 Whelen would work. 33, not 33, where am I going? 35 Remington would work. Any 35 caliber. And cut it out just like we did before. Set it over the top. Start it in as square as you can. Take your pusher. Push it straight down. Okay. Let's get a pen. Let's double check what we've got here. All right, we're going that far. Make sure we're pushed all the way down. Again, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt to compress it hard, but you don't really need to. So, all right, that's all the way down. So there we go. That's how far down that goes. So let's put this in here and let's make a mark on here. Just so that we know, because like I said, we're not going to measure this birdshot. I've already checked it, and it's right about 80 grains. 90 grains overflows the case. 90 grains with this ball, which weighs 70 grains, is still I'm having a problem with math. 160 grains, right? 160 grains, right in the wheelhouse. 158 is a 357 mag load, so there's no worry about putting too much in here. You can't get too much in here; it's not going to be a problem. Okay, let's finish this one off. So we've got powder and a wad in there. We just need our shot. Let's back it off just to two of these scoops and see if we get a little bit better room seatability for our ball. That last one, I didn't really care for how that ball was in there. And let's see if this one can seat it. Obviously, you want to seat it just a little below the center line so that you've got, a good hole in the ball. If you're not making the center line, it's always going to want to pop out. So you want to be beneath the center line of the ball, and ideally enough that you can get a good crimp to come over the top. So let's try it with just a little less shot in there and see if that doesn't do anything for us. I'm going to turn that ugly peg off. All right. Yeah, that's a little better. That's a little better. These balls are so soft. I'm putting a ring in it with the cedar. I'm putting a ring in the wall, but it's not going to hurt for what we're using it for. All right. Sometimes, I wish I had a taper crimp here, because I'm not a big fan of these. Yeah, see, it's actually the crimp that's screwing things up for us. This ball moves. It didn't move before. So now, some may say just crank it down a little harder, and that might work, but I'm not a big fan of pushing things, forcing things with when it comes to reloading. And yeah, see, it's even looser now. So probably what's happening is, that collet's got so much power that it's actually squishing the ball, and it's probably got a pretty good hold on it, but it's actually squished it, and the brass case has just popped back a little bit or sprung back a little bit, and the lead hasn't, making it easy to spin. That's why I like a taper crimp better than or a roll crimp better than these Lee collet style stab crimp, because that's the kind of thing they do. All right, I'm not going to go and rob one off my maxi because I know I got a taper crimp there. I am going to, what can I do? I can probably get a little bit out of this because this has got a taper crimp in it. And let's see what we get. All right, let's try another one. Just skipping this. Let's see what happens. Because it seemed to be pretty well held. I started to tell you, and I lost track of where I was. So that 357 cedar die wouldn't work. So what I did was I robbed my 9mm cedar die, because I don't really care about holding the case, containing the case. I just want to be able to push that ball down in where I want it to. And probably what's going on is I'm probably fighting the crimp a little bit. So I'm actually crimping more or before the ball is completely seated. So I probably need to adjust that die a little bit more. But let's see what we get here with this. Just without that Lee factory crimp die. All right, tried it with powder. Get our card wad in here. Get our cedar. Go right down to the line. 2 scoops. There's a lot of room in there for a ball. All right. Let's see what this does. It seemed to be pretty good. Yeah. See, that's in there fine. Where's my checker? I got a 357 checker here somewhere. This is 45 Colt. Thought I had a 357 up here. Yeah, 357 mag. All right, doesn't go. Doesn't go. So we're gonna have to find out why. Let's see if it's just that checker, because it might be, that checker might be tighter than I think it is. Yeah, they slide right in the chamber, no problem. No problem. Fall in, slide in, fall out. So they're probably a little long. Yeah, it slides right in all the chambers here without a problem. I'm not going to put this part on YouTube, but I'll tell you, I think you can trust me that this is going in and out just fine. All right. So there's another one. So there it is. It's pretty much the same as a 32. You can use different size shot. If you want to try a heavier shot, you feel you need it, go right ahead. What it's going to do is it's going to be less dense of a pattern. but you're going to get a little better penetration because you got a little more per pellet energy, kinetic energy pushing those pellets forward. So there you go. This is how I go about making shot loads for ball and shot loads for 357. All right, let's do one. All right, let's not do one. I just went through this and tried to load this for you the way I used to do it with a couple of gas checks, and it normally works. But because I'm got a hybrid system here, I'm trying to use a 9mm die. The taper in the 9mm is just different. The sizing is just different, and it's not going to work. I'll tell you how I did it, but I can't show you. Basically, you'd start out the same. You resize your case, you prime it, whole thing. Put your powder in, put your over powder card in, fill it to the top with shot. Okay, just like you see here. Just shy of full. The case is going to be flared. Take yourself a gas check, put it over the top, push it down. Now you're going to have to play with your shot level because you want this gas check to be just a little bit below level. If it's flush, it's not going to crimp. It's going to pop out on you. So you got to be able to seat it in there so it goes just a little bit below, enough below, maybe a fingernail thickness, maybe a little more than that, so that when you run it up into your crimper, it's going to roll it over the top of the gas check, and it's going to hold the gas check in. And there you have it. It'll be like a wad cutter, gas check on the top with a shot load inside, and you just shoot that as your shot load. So you want to be conscious that you're going to have a copper gas check coming out. It's not going to be all birdshot. So it's more than just birdshot coming out, but by and large, it's just birdshot. So there you go. That's another way to do it. 357, basically the same as the 32. You may have to play with your dies like I did to make sure you get a proper crimp and make sure that you're seating it the way you want it to. But it's really not hard, and you can make yourself some neat gallery loads or backyard loads, or it's probably not something you need a lot. If you were to load 50, you'd probably have enough for most of a lifetime. If you're just using them for putting maybe one or two in the cylinder and the rest with regular full charge bullets just to have them for snakes or whatever. And there you go. All right. God bless everybody. CW out.